in this video, I just want to tell you a little bit about this awesome camera, which is a great find. This actually belongs to a family member. It's an old Pentax SLR from back in the day. I believe it was bought in a small town in the early 70s, back way before digital, or digital was famous anyway. And in those days you can only use 24 frames, 24 pictures. You could only take 24 pictures, and you'd put in a frame. I believe it's 24 or 32. Please feel free to, you know, fill me in that. And what's really cool about this, it has a really nice little viewfinder, so you can take your pictures, and it's basically for taking pictures. And this was a great camera back in the day for taking great photos. Now, I do have some great memories of this particular camera on family holidays and stuff like that. It was just a really nice camera. You used to get it out, sand everywhere probably, and off you went. You would take that nice picture, and even now it takes really nice pictures. And I must admit, I'm not sure if it still works, just because we don't have any film, which would be really cool. But what you'd basically do, you would unclip the back, you'd put the film in, you'd strap it in, and off you'd go, click, 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 click. You'd have no idea how good your photos were, not like nowadays when you can just, you know, tap on play and see how your photos have been. So obviously when you get them, you know, processed from the local shop, you can still do that, it's harder to do though. And then you'd have a nice surprise. You'd probably have a few shots of your finger over the lens and stuff like that, because you obviously couldn't delete photos. And but it really was a good time. And obviously the clip on the top is similar to the camera I'm using now actually, where I put my microphone. But on this particular camera you would attach a flash to it. So if it was a bit darker or just not the nicest light outside, it'd be a great tool to have. Obviously it was interchangeable lenses, so you could change the lens at any point, which is really nice about these sort of cameras. I believe this is the only lens that this particular camera has with it at the moment, but you could, if you get the right connection, the right mount, you could quite easily attach other lenses to it, which is really nice. But it just comes from an era when photography was more simpler, but though in some ways more complex, because I guess if you're a professional you could have a dark room and you could process all your pictures yourself using the right chemicals and that. That's something I say I'd love to do. I did actually do at college, so it is actually quite fun, especially if you know what you're doing, and you can have lots of experiments. But what's really cool about this, I believe it has a 15 to 28 mil, 34, no 70 mil. It's alright. It's a bit complex because it has different zooms on it, just you know. And obviously you can mess around with the shutter speed and all the other sort of jazz. And I love this little clip on the top where you can pull back the film. And obviously when you're finished with your photos, you'd press the button and to wind in the top, and you'd hear it go zzz, it would rewind all the tape back, all the film back, and then you could take out. And obviously if you pulled it out too early, the sun would hit your photos and you would lose all your photos. It really was from a different time, but I just thought I would show you this camera because it was just from an interesting era. Please feel free to ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Or if you know more about these cameras, or if you had a camera similar to this, feel free to share it in the comments below. I mean, question of the day, what was your first family camera? That'd be really cool to find out. And please feel free to share your stories with us. It'd just be really cool to see. Now in a moment I'll leave 2 end cards. If you got value from today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and why not buy us a coffee if you're enjoying the content. But in a moment I'm going to give you 2 end cards that are going to bring you absolute value and show you some of the best cameras for creators. See you in the next video.